Hello everyone and welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. Very quick announcement. Wonderful. We have a brand new episode of the podcast, episode 14. This one is going to be amazing. It's a personal account. And it's all about entities and attachments. So for all of you light workers out there, for all of you who want to know or get the scoop about how this actually really works, how you can deal with them, how this all happens, how what they do, how you can clear it or clear them, clear that, clear it, whatever. It's all in this podcast. So it's an amazing listen, so check it out. The link will be down below. And again, that is number 14. So if you're inclined, and it's nothing to be frightened about at all, absolutely go through all of it, how to work and clear all of this. There's nothing to be worried about. We lay out all the information for you. So if you're interested, down below, episode 14, all about entities. And today we are getting you some messages from Spirit. Where or what should your focus be on right now? So we have number 1 here, pile 1. So just, the energy of the pile, the colors, if that appeals to you. And then we have pile 2 here, and then pile 3. So the energy, the colors of the pile. If you need to go ahead and put this on pause for a second while you really come back into yourself, then do that. The timestamps will be down below as always. And as always, take as much time as you need to. The more aligned you are with your soul and your own intuition, the more tapped in you are with divine energy, and the more these are going to resonate. So if pile 1 doesn't resonate, check in with your first pile doesn't resonate, check in with another pile. If that pile doesn't resonate, maybe messages aren't for you today, but do check back with us for another time. And again, take what resonates, don't worry about what doesn't. And these are general readings. So that's the disclaimer. Let's get right into your reading. So I'm going to put aside pile 2 and pile 3 for now. Oopsie. Let's get back into... There you go. There we go. So if you chose pile 1, this is your reading. And again, messages from Spirit. Where should your focus be right now? So I'm actually going to put this aside, and we're going to read this a little bit later. So we have Oracle now, and then we will move in to our gorgeous tarot. So let's see where your focus should be right now. So you've got the pink rose dragon. Prepares your heart to connect with the higher facets of cosmic heart. Open your heart to warm-hearted love and diamond light. Connect with the love of the universe. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Love that. And then you have creator, air. Okay, come back into focus. It's not a horse. I don't know why I did that, but well, sort of worked. And then befriending, the word polarize. Interesting. Okay. And then you've got inspiration. Be prepared, as you'll soon receive a visit from the fairy of inspiration. Come dusk or dawn, she can call at any time. Beautiful. And this is communication, number 14. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outgoing, through our heart, our center of our truth, to stay in flow of source and balanced exchange. You've got number 14 there. Make sure you can get that. All right, so let's get into the energy of this reading, pile 1. Let's see. I want the light to be completely shining on that. All right, so your focus. Your focus. So your focus is being asked to come back to yourself and come back to your centered self, come back to your heartfelt self. So again, take your energy out of the world and out of opinions and back to yourself. And this is about, for you, not about opinions. This is about literally feeling into your soul about what it is that you want. Many of you have been going in this sort of loop about what it is that you think you want, and going down a path and trying things on. And then some of you have been getting a little bit confused because you've been turned around on that path and wondering what's next. And then from there, it can be a little bit confusing because your mind goes, what are we supposed to do now? And then your practical mind gets involved and your ego gets involved, which is totally normal. And then it disconnects you a little bit from your inspiration. So this is about making everything very simple. Your focus needs to come back into your heartfelt centered, making all of your decisions, and again, pulling all of the information in and around you through your heart center, and honestly using that as a channel as you move forward. The communication between yourself and your guides is there, but it absolutely can be ramped up just a little bit. A lot of you feel as though there's something coming in for you, but you can't really figure out what it is. And actually, you do know what it is, but it's just a matter of really figuring out what it is that you want versus what it is that you feel as though you can get. So it's all about coming back and re-announcing to the universe what it is that you truly want. And this expansiveness is there for you. It's absolutely there for you. And the thinking capacity that you have is absolutely wonderful. Taking that thinking capacity, that sort of that air energy, and putting it back into sort of magical thinking and daydreaming. Now, a lot of you are daydreamers, right? You have when it comes to visualization, a lot of you are really spot on with visualization. And what you've been doing recently is that you've been saying to yourself, all right, I'm really good at this, but I want to come back to the action part of it. I want to come back to the divine masculine part of it. I want to come back to working with the practicality and getting my dreams grounded and moving forward from that. Nothing wrong with that sensibility. And actually, when you click into that energy, it's very pronounced, and you're brilliant at that too. But what's happened for a lot of you is that, that balance for you can be very sort of tender sometimes. So you've gone from sort of that daydream kind of feeling as though you're just sort of wandering in the world, but there's nothing tangible coming in, to really going the other way and being so practical with the divine masculine, which is absolutely wonderful. But then as you're putting your 2 steps forward and you're making things happen in the world, you're wondering if that's what you want. So again, coming back to this tender balance of going back to that dreamlike state for you. When you go back to that dreamlike state, what happens for you is you get this really expansiveness that comes in, and then these thoughts that you didn't really have before, this added communication that you have with your grounded family, your grounded guides come in, and then you get these like wisps of inspiration, and they send you off in different directions. And what you need to realize is these different directions that are coming in for you do actually put you on a single path that you can move forward. It's just that as these different inspirations come in for you, they may seem so expansive that you can't put them together. And that's when your practical mind comes in. But when the practical mind comes in, it tries to rule the show, saying, let's put this together, let's do this, otherwise it's not going to come into fruition. And actually, that's not true for you. Now, that's not to say, we would never say on this channel, that I've taken pride in this many, many times before, in saying that the divine masculine is absolutely brilliant. And of course, it's great to work with your practical mind and your ego, because, when you incorporate all of it and you have the keys to your ego, it can really show you so much about yourself. And having everything incorporated and integrated is beautiful. And action sometimes is brilliant. When we don't know a way forward, take baby steps, do something. It'll move you forward. And that's worked for you in the past, but you don't have an inactive mind. You're not inactive. You're not really at that stage anymore where you're like, I don't know which way I'm going. I don't know what I want. There's an inkling that you know what you want. And of course, this is a general reading, but at the very least, you know what energy you want. You know what more of what you want in your life integrated, whether it's love, whether you want a new job, whether you want to level up here or do this, or whether you want your own house, whether you want this, that, and the other. A lot of you are stepping up in new ways, and being an example for other people, or wanting to help out in a new capacity, sort of for the new humanity. And this is really important for you to understand. Coming back to a sense of self, coming back to that divine feminine receptivity is the way to go. Keeping your dreams very, very large with this expansion and staying in that dreamlike state. Now, for a lot of you, you've gone in, like we said, you've gone in that other direction. So the minute you hear this, there's going to be an energy of, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And that's an inkling to sit with this information. That's an inkling too that you've gone too far in the other direction, trying to make things happen. There's an essence of sort of control there, and not enough energy of surrender. So come back to that dreamlike state for you. Let's see what we have here. All things work best in conjunction with all things. And you've got this equilibrium, chakra balance. So coming back into this balance again, everything works together, right? And with this air too, this creator air, coming back into that real energy, allow yourself to go into these magical worlds and not expect to come out with anything that's tangible. It will be tangible in the end, because everything you come up with is actually shifting your life in some way. But don't worry about the outcome. Come back into that energy, that beautiful energy. Let's put that here. Come back into that beautiful energy of just allowing yourself to be in this headspace of really trying on different worlds, magical worlds, really going back into your imagination in this beautiful way. Now, whether you're creating a story, or whether you're storytellers, or whether that's contributed to your art or whatever, allow yourself to daydream, all of it, daydream. What it does, it's going to bring up your energy. It's going to bring up your vibration. And from that vibration, you're going to get your next hit about what it is that you're supposed to do. For now, a lot of you have this really tight grip over what it is that you want. And because it's so tight, there's not enough energy coming in. You know, sometimes I keep getting this vision of being in a stagnant room with no energy, right? But the room is big and there's many possibilities. But what you need to do is open up those doors, open up those windows so that air can come in and sort of breeze through, and you can feel more comfortable in that room, right? So let's get you some tarot and get you some more specifics with this. But this energy too of coming in, also, the other thing that's a sign for you too, if there's an energy of grumpiness, I know that there's ascension going on right now. So if you've been one of those people that have just been feeling a little bit grumpy, or a little bit, you know, you can feel that sort of winding up, that real sort of winding up in your soul. This is another way to deal with that too. Again, coming into that energy. If you're getting really angry with the world, or you know, things are sort of winding you up in a way, all you need to do is come back into this energy of beauty. You've got the Wheel of Fortune here. And again, coming back into your own energy is a beautiful way to really understand what it is, like exactly where you've come from, exactly where you're going to. And again, without having this understanding of how it's all going to end, this is all about coming back to the energy of enjoying the journey and allowing some of that magic to come in. Again, some of you have like, you've sort of, for want of a better term, because it's not that nice, but tight-fisted yourself into like this energy of, it's going to happen this way, or it's again not allowing in any of that magic. But what it is that you have with that tight fisting is kind of beautiful in a way, because you're really ready for something big, and it's just a matter of allowing it to happen. So again, that dreamlight state for you would be wonderful. Now you can apply that dreamlight state in any way to your prose, if you're a writer, or if you're an artist, or just in general, allow yourself to dream, right? Yeah, allow yourself to get out there and dream. You've got the Three of Pentacles, you've got Three of Wands here with the Wheel of Fortune. And right, so going back into your own world. Now, a lot of people have been trying to come out of that world because, because of circumstances that have gone on. You've been forced into, our own world in a way. And everybody's taken that a little bit differently. People have gone into their own worlds to go into the insular, the inner, to heal, right? Which has been wonderful. That's been intense work. This is a different way of coming back to yourself, though. This is a way of coming back into your own magical sort of life. But also, this is not really about quote unquote healing. You've done a lot of that work. As we say on this channel, don't go down the rabbit hole. It's not really about that. But, the essence of dreaming also will bring up to the surface some things that just need to be sort of seen, recognized, integrated, and released. There's not a lot of healing. And to be clear, as we say on this channel, healing is just about programming coming up and, what's happened to us coming up so we can release it and really see who we are. It's not about not being whole. But at the same time, there's a burst of energy of something that wants to be born, that wants to be out there, that wants to happen, that wants to be sort of this burst of coming out of the old and into the new. And at the same time, you can feel it and you're ready for it. And a lot of you have been ready for it for a while. So that's why this clamping down is happening, because it's like, it's not happening quick enough. Let's get this out there. Let's do this. And you're going to get limited results from that. But in the past, that's something that you've needed to do, because there's been a lot of airy fairy energy around some of you in some way. So having that practical side of yourself, right, to really come back into that divine masculine and get back into that moving forward, get back into that momentum has been wonderful. So again, this is about the divine energy of balance here. This is the last energy of learning how to balance this. Once you've got this, you will be able to move in any different direction in this expansion. So this is not a passive reading. This is not a small thing for you. You've really mastered the sort of practical element of it. And goodness knows, we know you know how to do this dreamlike state. But if you do this dreamlike state now and allow yourself to go back into it, it's going to be integrated with the divine masculine in a brand new way and bring in these new opportunities that are there for you, but you're so clamped down it can't come in. Again, see yourself in this room. All you want to do is open these windows and open the door. Get some movement, get some energy, get some air into that, right? Don't worry about old energy that comes up for you. It's coming up to be recognized and to be released, to be integrated. There's nothing about this that you need to worry about. This is sort of the last final moments of really working with this, your energy, and learning how powerful you are with this balance. You've gone one way, with the dreaming, and then you went the other way with the practical mindset. Now, this is a way for you to balance so you're not seesawing all over the place. Now, everything that you want is out there, and a lot of you with the practical element of you really know what it is that you want, and it'll be different for each and every one of you. And even if you don't know what you want, you absolutely know what you don't want. So this is not passive. Again, if you go back into this dream state and really allow in this expansiveness, you're bringing in all of that energy that you've already put out there in the state of when you were being practical, when you were working with that divine aligned divine masculine energy of that action that at the time that you were working with maybe didn't really come in as much, maybe didn't bring in the results that you wanted necessarily, but it did bring in a momentum. This is a way for you to really blow it wide open, everything wide open, and let all these opportunities come in for you. Now, there's a couple of different messages that I'm sensing, that we're sensing here with communication and the larger world. So let's go ahead and again, keep up that inspiration. Keep your mind bright and your energy just wide at this time. And focus on love, dreaming. Just allow yourself to do that. It keeps getting Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. I don't know where that came from. I've never seen it. But that sort of energy, I suppose. Yeah, this energy is coming in for you. This passion that you have, sometimes when it doesn't have enough room to sort of to have enough air, what it does is it can turn against you, and it's almost like it's twisting your insides in a way, and it's like, oh, I need to get out of here. I don't know what's going on, and it's too much energy. And for you, it's just like, and it needs to bust out. It needs to move in some direction. So take this passion, and it's again, you're just fanning it with just a little bit of air. But all you're doing is that energy of that fire that you have within that's going in one direction. And trust us, there is an opportunity coming in for you. There's many of them actually. All you're doing is fanning the fire of passion, right? If you just bring in some of that air. Some of you are really sort of pulling and over focusing on this energy because you're so ripe and you can feel as though you're ready to get out there and do what you want to do. But the way in which you move, it's not exactly counterproductive, but there's an easier way of doing it. Now, if you keep going in this way, a lot of you have experienced some sorts of burnouts, and some of it could have been sort of mental exhaustion, and again, turning your energy onto not feeling great in the world or with everything that's going on, which is absolutely totally understandable. But you're also great at looking within and knowing that all the answers are within, and that there's many different timelines going on, and everything is seemingly chaotic, but in that chaos, something great is happening. So again, coming back to this energy of putting your energy first into this sort of, and again, Graceland came up, there's just this energy of just play and beauty. And also, that's the way that you're going to bring, for those of you who have these firm plans that you want to infiltrate and integrate and put out into the world. It sounds, again, counterproductive to do it this way, but come back to the energy of play, extreme play. Just allow yourself to sort of be completely and totally free. And then you will notice the shift that you feel about the world, the shift that you will feel about feeling stagnant or stuck, the shift that you will feel about the lack of connection or the lack of communication. Your communication will open. Your connections will open. Your connections will deepen. Everything will move forward for you. Now, for this too, with this equilibrium, again, clear quartz, jade here, smoky quartz, and amethyst. All of this can be used, and there's others too, whichever tools that you use, but use the, with the coming in with the tangible, use that also. Bring in any kind of ritual that you have, bring in any kind of energy that you have. This is time to sort of make magic on your own terms. And again, these opportunities are coming in. You're ready to move forward. Now, the Wheel of Fortune can, go in any direction, 180 here and 180 there. And that's the way that you feel. You've been sort of shifting this way and that way, and what you want to do is move forward. This is the surest way forward. It really is. It's going to bring you back into a sense of equilibrium that you've never really had before. So drop into your heart space, dream bigger, really connect with your guides at this time. Don't be afraid to move forward with this sort of like almost dreamlike state. You will come back into a sense of equilibrium because all of that energy that you put into moving forward and those tangible steps will be integrated into this equilibrium. As you move forward, you'll expand everything that you've worked on and allow in all this extra energy coming in for these new opportunities coming in for you. You've absolutely got this, Pile 1. So hopefully this brought some clarity for you. We're sending you so much love and beauty for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Go be you. Go enjoy this time of dreaming and manifesting and just chill out. You've absolutely got this. If you have not subscribed already, we would love to have you, and don't forget to hit that bell icon. And of course, do not forget, we have this sort of beautiful, dreamy kind of energy in your Pile 1. And I know that with our podcast, we're talking about demons and entities and this, that, and the other. But we promise you it's a Knock Your Socks Off episode number 14. So if you're interested, check that out down below, the link there for the podcast. And of course, we have so many other offers down below. So check those all out, and we will see you next time. Take care, Pile 1. Bye-bye. Okay, beautiful Pile 2s. If you chose this pile and this image, then messages from Spirit, where or what should your focus be on right now? We're actually going to put this to the side for a little bit later. So we're going to start off with your Oracle and move on to your Tarot a little bit later. So what should your focus be on now? So you've got Earth and Fire, Dragon, works with you to clear the fifth dimensional ley lines. It's time for service. When you give, you receive. Beautiful. That's your first card there. Then let's move on to You Are Epic Gorgeousness. Love that. And then Fall in Love with Your Own Story. Beautiful. And then you've got Friendship. Fairies and humans alike need friends. Now is the time to seek out those who will support and encourage you on your journey to fulfill your dreams. Beautiful. And then you have Prosperity, 36. The frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, spirit, soul sing. Invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. Gorgeousness. Let's put that there. All right, so there's an energy here of being a little bit depleted, Pile 2. And that's okay. We're going to come back to this in a minute. That's okay. There's been a lot of clearing for you in many different energies. For a lot of you, there's been a lot of clearing sort of on the spiritual and historical kind of energy here, which is like bloodline, past life. So it's sort of heavy a little bit. It's been a little bit heavy for you. And because you've been dealing with a lot of this energy, it's really important for you to come back to self at this point and concentrate on yourself. Concentrate on the connection with yourself. Concentrate on the connection between you and others in the world. Now, not in general in the world, but just your inner circle, the people that you have around you. Now, it's important that you do this because the people that you have around you, for the most part, and be careful about this, of course, give your energy to the right kinds of people. But a lot of you have been working on boundaries, and a lot of you have been working on making sure that your immediate surroundings has beauty in and around you one way or another. And these are people that you choose to be in your life. You know, even if you have sort of a work environment that's not ideal, you still have your pocket of friends. And it's important for you to be really gracious and human with them, and really open up at this time, because there's a level of commitment there. There's a level of connection there with your friends or with the people that are in your immediate vicinity here that can really help you get back into your body and help you get back into your spirit. Again, you've been working on these epic, and you go off and you do this, Pal 2. Let's just move this a little bit. Okay. You go off and you do these sort of epic inner journeys, right? Of sort of the cleansing. And with this historical cleansing that you've been doing, a lot of you have been realizing in a very, very specific way that some of your quirks or things that have been going on, again, has been historic, has been past life stuff. Because you're extremely old souls. So you've been working on those realms, whether you've been realizing it or not, sort of not exactly subconsciously, but not exactly consciously either. So you've been working in these sort of deep realms, and there's been a lot of work that you've been doing in these historic realms. And you've been realizing that a lot of these blocks that you have can go pretty deep. And a lot of these blocks that you have is around prosperity or bringing in and keeping, specifically keeping. Now, you've done this systematically, and it's actually quite brilliant the way that your mind works, because you're sitting there and you're going, all right, well, you've worked on your worthiness. A lot of you have been through hell and back. Our heart goes out to you. But you also know that you're worthy of what it is that you seek, and yet things still aren't coming in for you the way that you want. So then you've gone a little bit deeper. You're like, all right, well, you know, I do believe that I'm worthy, at least in this lifetime. This goes back a little bit further back than that. So you've been going in again into these sort of historic sort of situations and clearing out the old from past lives. And a lot of it has been about what's been taken from you, whether it's been your life, whether it's been your livelihood, whether it's been your essence or your spark from past lives. Because you have an old spirit, you have an old energy. You've been here many times before. So you're brilliant in that way. You're brilliant at diagnosing. And you've done this for other people, and you've recently been doing this for yourself. You're brilliant at looking at people's energy and saying, all right, this comes from this comes from that, let's clear here. When people walk into a room, you can really activate on each level how each person is operating. And we're not just working on a spiritual level, working on a personal level, working on a historic level. We're all working on many different auric levels. So this is something that you can do for other people, but you've really pulled this energy back and decided to do this for yourself. And it's been some really interesting results, some deep results. For some of you, some kind of manic results, because the energy, when you go back and you work in the spiritual, the sort of auric, and especially the historical, there's a lot of bounce backs a little bit with the energy, where you can feel like completely connected one minute, and then the next day, like, there's a lot of ups and downs with the energy. So if you've been having a lot of ups and downs with the energy, it's just letting you know that you're clearing the historic. And because it's not tangible in a way, because it's past life stuff, and you get an inkling of this, and some of you may get like a sort of hit on the specifics of the past life, but it's not really important to focus on the specifics of the past life. It doesn't seem as though this energy, the work that you're doing, is it feels viable, but at the same time it's not tangible in the way that you can really put your finger on why your energy is going one way or another. So when you're going up and down, when you're working in this lifetime, you're like, all right, well, I'm working on inner child stuff, I'm working on shadow stuff, I'm working on this abuse, I'm working on that. There's a clear pattern for you to see why you would be behaving in this way. But for some of you, it feels as though, you're up one minute, you're down the next minute, and you're really focusing on this level of clearing, and it's very, very powerful. And again, this is something that you can do for others, but you've been doing this for yourself. And this is all around blocks around prosperity and different ways. However, general reading, each one of you will see it differently. Some of you want power, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some of you want money, and that is power. What you do with that, you can save humanity with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing evil with that. There's absolutely beautiful things with that. It does bring power, right? Some of you want to shift into a better position doing what you want. Whatever it is, on each individual level, it's all about prosperity, about what prosperity means for you in this moment. And for each and every one of you, prosperity has shifted. Your meaning of it, the attachments that you put to prosperity have shifted, right? Some of you are even, wanting to include more into your family. There's different ways of doing that. So there's many different ways to do this, right? But you've been realizing that there's been blocks here, and it would be in your first and second chakra in one way or another. Now, a lot of you are creative and brilliant in that way, but bringing that energy out and shining in that energy and showing the world who you are, in that sort of womb-like energy. That's where some of those blocks are for you. Now, again, you've done all this work to clear sort of from this lifetime, but a lot of this lifetime was mirrored from past lifetimes. So this is deep, dark work, right? And at the end of this, the payoff is not small. You get to fall in love with yourself, and you get to really realize the epicness of who you are and the specifics of what you're going to do in the blueprint in this lifetime, right? And once that's activated here on earth, and you understand that at every level, then you are free to pursue everything that you want. But a lot of you are noticing that every time you pursue something, it doesn't fall flat, but it doesn't go exactly the way that you want it to. And that doesn't mean that you have an element of control. Unlike Pile 1, it's you've been expansive. You've been like, I'm open to everything, and still nothing's coming in the way that you want. So you've gone the opposite of Pile 1. You've been expansive, and that's how you know this work needed to be done, right? So this is a potential of a huge payoff here, and it's a long time coming, Pile 2, because we're talking about your past lives, right? So it's been a long time coming. Let's see what you have here. Throat chakra, right? And then you have listening. If you want to be heard, learn to listen. So this is about listening to the essence of your soul and to every section and part of your soul and everything that it's been through. So you can have this major sort of interaction. Now, everything that you've been through in this historic level. Now, what you're doing is you're clearing out, sort of, one of a better term, the bad stuff, right? Not to polarize, but the stuff that's been integrated in a way that's holding you back in this lifetime. Absolutely, that's what you ought to do. But also, there was some real hits in past life too, where you were You had a lot of power in past lives, and being able to bring in that energy in this lifetime too, to also remember who you are in a very tangible way, in a way that it actually happened before in a historic level, is bringing that in too. So listening to all aspects of self here, it makes you a better listener to your soul. It makes you a better listener in general. But for you in this lifetime, you are a good listener, really. You are a good listener. And even if you're one of those people who are like listening but also are ready to speak afterwards, it's because you've held your voice back for so long. So you are still listening to the other person when they're talking, but you're actively also listening to what you want to say afterwards. And most people say, that's a bad thing to do. You're not really listening, but you can do both, because your voice has been shut down in past lives before, and you're learning how to open up that throat chakra in this lifetime. So this is something that you've been doing. You've been actively speaking up. You've been actively being out in the world asking for help, or at least showing that you need it. So again, this communication that you have with your sort of inner circle, this is something that you can really rely on right now. This is something that you can absolutely take to the next level. And for those of you who are going through this aspect of this historical kind of clearing out, and you're feeling as though you're on your own, confide in others. You don't have to confide in them about the work necessarily that you're doing, but just everything that's coming up for you. It's going to get you used to working with your throat chakra, getting all of that energy out, because this is something that you need to learn how to do, because you're used to sort of keeping all of your power within you. And some of you can just feel as though, oh my goodness, it's overwhelming when you do that, right? So we just picked up the tarot, and the first thing that's coming up is the sun. And that's just beautiful energy for you. It's beautiful energy. And this is all for you to come back into shining the way that you want in the world. And again, this is sort of the last piece of the puzzle in a way. And this is not a small thing that you're doing here on this level. But it's also really identifying these blocks that you have sort of at an epic level. And this is something that you can do for other people too. But please concentrate on yourself first as you do this. And it's also bringing you back into an element of knowing yourself on a much more intimate level than you've ever been before. Which is absolutely incredible. So at the end of this, of course, the prosperity is going to come in. You have, oh, that's incredible. You have the Wheel of Fortune too. So the Wheel of Fortune, and actually the funny thing is with Pile 1, not only did you get the Wheel of Fortune, but you got the Wheel of Fortune in exactly the same position. Your first card here. So you're ready to move forward. And this is, for most of you, you're coming out on the other side of this. This isn't the energy of necessarily being bogged down by the energy anymore. Like we said at the beginning, to reiterate, there's been this energy of ups and downs, this fluctuations, that have been for some of you quite confusing, and for some of you can feel as though it's a little bit of whiplash. But when you go deep like this, again, the connection to past lives, it's not dubious in a way, but it's not as tangible. So normally when you're going through things, you can figure out, oh, well, of course I'm doing this work, so of course I'm going to be like this right now. But for some of you, you've been like, oh my goodness, I don't know why I'm so up and down. I should be a little bit more level. Because when you look around your life, things are starting to come together for you. You're not in a position quite now for a lot of you to take off quite the way that you want to, but things are starting to come in. The energy is shifting. There's synchronicities that are coming in, and they're very direct. The message is very direct to you. All right, I get that. I absolutely get that. I put that out there, and this is coming in. And again, the way in which your energy is working in the world is really interesting. You'll say, all right, I kind of want this, but I'm open to it. And then something comes in, and it's something that's slightly different. And you didn't necessarily think that you wanted it, but it's the energy of that expansiveness. And you're like, oh my God, this is brilliant for me. Of course I want this. So all of these synchronicities are coming in. And if they haven't started for you yet, they will do. That's what this energy of what you're doing, this major clear out that you're doing, it's going to bring in more of these energies. So you've got the Knight of Wands moving forward. Oh, this beautiful. You've got this passionate energy, and of course your emotionality coming in and being able to move you forward in this way and integrate both your passion and your emotionality. And for you in this reading, this emotionality is very much about your past experiences. And again, on a historic level, you're bringing in all of that alchemy, all of that magic, and all of that power from these past lives, right? in a way where it's undeniable in your energy that you are epic. It's absolutely undeniable. You can no longer dumb yourself down to fit any box, even if you wanted to. You're getting to the point where there's absolutely no way that you can hide anymore. Even if you tried, there's nothing on earth that you will be able to do to hide, right? You can't do that anymore. This is all moving forward. It's very beautiful. The Two of Wands here, and then you've got the Ace of Swords. Love this. And again, the Ace of Swords is coming into and really acclimating into this beautiful energy that you have here with speaking your truth. And this truth, again, is integrated into profound wisdom from past lives, of knowing different aspects of magic, of alchemy, and this, that, and the other. But you're not here to necessarily regurgitate the old. And when we say that, it kind of sounds nasty, like, you know, we need a return to the old. We need a return to the old essences of how we dealt with things, and how we revered each other and how humanity was there, right? But you're bringing in new elements of what it is that we need, new versions and systems of justice and humanity. And this is something that, you know, you didn't come in for something small. So the healing that you needed to do at the rate that you were doing it was always going to be, unfortunately, Pile 2, just a little bit extreme. But we want to remind you, and not to say that, there's no sympathy for you. There is, but you're very, very strong, and you knew that you would be able to do this. The work that you're doing and the clearing out and the level that you've been working at is not for the faint-hearted. And quite frankly, not everybody will be able to do it at this level. But you're here to do this because you're here to really bring in a sort of a brand new version of the world, right? And we're already on the outskirts of doing that. And some people are actually doing it. So this is not about polarity. This is not at all bringing in any systems of fear. From the programming from the 3D or working from that. This is absolutely brand new stuff. So you have an idea of what it is that you want to do, but we would say as an advice, Pile 2, with everything that you've been going, that's been going on in and around you, and again, really listen to your friends, really connect with who you've got in and around you. There's trustworthy people in and around you now. That hasn't always been the case, but you've been working to clear out diligently for 2 years. You've been doing this. So there's good people around you, and you trust your instincts. Your intuition is absolutely impeccable. So when you come into this energy, you know you can move forward. And this is all about knowing your truth and being free. This is also, and this happens a lot with light workers too. This happens a lot with speaking your truth without the fear of persecution, because in past lives, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. You probably were persecuted. So on this level too, on a very basic level, that historic clearing out is really paving the way for you to be who you are on every level, because what you say is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be of a higher caliber, right? But we do need you in this lifetime to be exactly who you are. So this gorgeousness is coming in for you. And also this really beautiful balancing of this passion and emotionality that you have. Whereas before, the passion would take over in a way, and there would be so much heat that you'd sort of burn yourself out, or the emotionality would feel as though it was coming up so thick and strong that you were going down, you were drowning in it, because you're so incredibly sensitive. And of course the world is not set up to support people like you, the most empathetic people in the world, not here to support you in any way. So this is support that you had to figure out on your own. So you're used to keeping everything together. You're not used to relying on other people for support. And that's why it's important for you at this time to choose the right people and to trust yourself, and to really see the people that you've chosen in your life. And again, you don't have to tell them absolutely everything that you're going through. It's not really about that. It's just the energy of relying on them. And this is going to bring you into this new level of healing. And from this new level of healing, you get this tangible essence of really knowing who you are, with inspiration, with beauty of moving forward, falling in love with your own story. Now, this is very specifically falling in love with the powerful person that you've been many, many times before, and bringing that in to the version of who you are right now, and really understanding this epicness on this epic level, which again cannot be contained. So the universe has your guides, the universe has no opportunity, I mean, nothing left. They have to recognize your brilliance, right? You're getting to the point where everything is sort of streaming out in such a way that you absolutely have to be recognized. And you're here to be recognized in this lifetime. And it's got nothing to do with ego, because what you stand for is brilliant. And when you're recognized for what you do and how you are in the world, it shifts the timelines in the world, right? Absolutely. So coming back to this, you've got everything here with earth grounding into this new way of being, a lot of fire energy, but again, this real balance between the fire and the emotionality coming in. And we have this balanced energy in with pile 1 too, but the way in which they're balancing and the way in which you're balancing is very, very different. So focus very much on this process of this historical healing that you're doing. Focus very much on your own voice and your own passion, and getting all of that in line, and focus very much on, very specifically for you, bringing in the essence of the beauty and the power from your past lives, and having that integrate into your life. You can feel as though you were powerful from past lives. And again, don't go down the rabbit hole and try and figure out who you are and I was this and I was that. It really doesn't matter. We can't prove it anyway, right? Whether you see it or not, it doesn't matter. But you will, on a historic level, be able to sense what power you had and what you did. That's very much integrated into your blueprint in this lifetime. Concentrate on that. Concentrate on bringing that power and integrating it into your life right now. And then the balance is going to come in. The balance is going to come in between your passion and your emotionality in a way that's going to, again, sort of blast all of the old out. And then that shining element that you have, again, will not be ignored. It cannot be ignored in the world. And that's how your vibration will be so attractive. You will pull in everything that you want. You've done the work on the groundwork. You do all that groundwork you've done. You don't need to worry about that anymore. And again, the practical steps, you don't need to worry about it. It's just about moving through these historic blocks, because as you move forward, you can sense something big is coming in. Never quite gets to that bigness yet, because you know that block is there. But again, the block is in the historic. And also focusing on the power from the historic is going to bring in and integrate with the power that you have, that have accumulated in this lifetime, and then nothing can stop you. So you are absolutely on the verge of something big. Stay with it. Stay epic. You've absolutely got this. That's what we have for you, Pile 2, sending you so much love and beauty for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. If you have not subscribed yet, we would love to have you for 2 of these psychological and beautiful deep readings every week. And of course, do not forget episode 14. If you are interested, don't worry about the demonic stuff or whatever, but if you're into figuring out stuff about demons and attachments and getting some real life energy and truth about how this all works, then personal story down below. Again, don't worry about the other aspects of it. It's evil, this, that, and the other. We've got this. None of this is really a big deal once you know how to deal with all of it. Anyway, the link is down below if you're interested. There's a bunch of different links down below how to work with all of this energy. Until we meet again, Paul 2, go be you, go be epic. You're on the verge of something big. This is a new way of working for you or with your energy. It's very, very powerful work that you're doing. So give yourself a pat on the back. Go back to your friends. Just integrate all of that energy. You don't need to do this alone, but you've got this. You're on the precipice of something big. So go be you, and we will see you again, Pile 2. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, beautiful Pile 3s. If you chose this image, this is your reading. We're going to work with that card a little bit later. So again, this is Messages from Spirit. Where or what should your focus be right now? Let's get into your oracle. We'll move into your tarot. Let's get into your reading. First card, Earth Dragon, clears your path and the land around you. Stay grounded, be ready to serve. Stuck energy is clearing. You can move forward in life. Beautiful. That's a gorgeous card to start off with, right? And then you have fierce serenity. Beautiful. And then you have you, the muse. Gorgeousness. And then you have wisdom. Have you ever been told that you're wise beyond your years? Now is the time to call upon your inner fairy wisdom to help you with a challenge. Beautiful. And then you have universal love, number 44. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and the whole of existence itself. Gorgeousness. Let's get you some light there. So your focus at this time, pile 3, is peace. It is serenity. It's peace. And how to bring that into your life in this beautiful way and keep it there. You have these moments of peace, but you know, especially in the last 2 years, we've all been feeling that. There's just chaos in the world. Well, it's always been chaos in the world, but a lot of chaos in the world sort of in every level, because as things are happening, we're also clearing out too, and everything's coming to the surface. So for you, it's about calming the mind. For you, it's about getting the serenity. For you, it's about this untold beauty of who you are, but also building this really firm foundation for yourself where, you know, nothing really shifts it at the end of the day. No matter what happens. I'm trying to get a little bit more light for you. Here. All right, it's a little bit better. No matter what happens, you're always grounded and you have this firm foundation. So with your energy, what happens is that you're so open and you're so empathic that even though, and you've got incredibly strong personalities, right? So for some of you, it's sort of, it's a contrast. It almost doesn't make sense. So what happens for you with your energy is that you're incredibly powerful, but when you're out in the world, your energy gets pulled sort of away from you. So it doesn't feel as though you're grounded when you're out in the world necessarily. So it's an essence of, and what happens is that for some of you, you can feel like not very safe in the world, or just feel sort of at odds in the world, certainly not comfortable in the world, right? But when you're with yourself and when you're around other people, you're very, very comfortable, you're very, very grounded. So what it is, and this is all an essence of healing, and there's different ways that this came in for pile 1, 2, and 3. For you, this is an essence of focusing on yourself, but specifically focusing on your power in a very specific way. So when you're out in the world, again, it's almost, you're used to giving away your energy for sort of the highest good and integrating your energy that way, because that's how you've worked as a light worker. You've been holding the light. But what you've been doing is when you go out into the world, you're still doing that work, but then it's too much, because then your energy's been taken away. It's being pulled from you. And then you don't feel as though you have enough energy for yourself, and you're not grounded, and then you feel unsafe, and it just, you know, it's not a great experience all the time being out in the world, right? For some of you, you can feel a little bit anxious or feel a little bit, you know, overwhelmed, especially in big crowds and this, that, and the other. And it's a total myth, really, that we're going to clear up right now, that empaths, you know, are, you don't need to feel overwhelmed with around big crowds or this, that, and the other. It's a myth. You know, when they say, you know, a stage of an empath, you can tell an empath if you feel this, that, and the, it doesn't have to be that way. The reason why that happens with a lot of empaths is because they're doing, there's different types of work that you do in this world. And when you're empathic, you're still giving away your energy, and you don't need to do that when you're in the world. There's a way of sort of shutting yourself down from that work without shutting yourself down, if that makes sense. And you can feel perfectly fine in and around a big crowd. If you don't want to be in and around a big crowd, that's fine, but you don't have to worry about being in and around a big crowd. In fact, a lot of you would do very well in crowds. Because there's an energy of you, once you know how to handle it, there's an energy of it that really thrives from having a lot of people around you. Actually, right now, if you have too many different energies around you, it can exhaust you and you need to come back and do whatever you need to do. And that's fine. You'll probably never get to the point where you're charging up from other people and then, you constantly need to be charged up. Most of you will need to come back and replenish on your own, because a lot of you have a sort of loner energy. But you can actually charge up your energy with a crowd. And this is a way for you to be able to do that and really hone in on your own wisdom. So this is a way for you to get that peace no matter where you are, and not avoid. For some of you, you've been avoiding situations because it's like, and it's not necessarily avoiding in a bad way. It's just like, I prefer not to be in these situations because I feel overwhelmed, or I prefer not to do this. It hasn't really taken you out of opportunities that you could have had, because anything that's meant for you will come to you. But I mean, it takes you out of the enjoyment of some of life, and this is coming up for you in a big way. So you're being asked to very much focus on yourself, but being able to focus on your energy in a very specific way. So no matter where you go, you take your confidence and your beauty with you. You're never overwhelmed. You don't feel that way. And you have the sense of peace and serenity no matter where you go, knowing that you're the one that's creating the peace and you're the one that's creating the serenity. So there's nothing about your energy that can be pulled away from you at any time. Right? Now, when you do the work as a light worker, when you do the work as holding space for humanity, you signed up for that. You know what you're doing. Right? When you go out into the world, you did not sign up to give your energy away to the outer circumstances, to what's going on, to be, your energy to be swept away with other people. You did not sign up for that. So there's an energy of pulling your energy back for when you're out in certain circumstances, because you're out in the world a lot more. You're integrating more into the world, Pile 3. Now, to a certain extent, I guess all of us are, but you are in a way that you never have done before. This has got nothing to do with what's been going on in the last 2 years. You're doing this. And this is a way for you to integrate back into the world, so you can really connect into the energy that you've been doing. You've been putting yourself out there in order for humanity to raise in a way, right? So we can raise up humanity. We can have a new set of circumstances. We can have sort of a new earth. We can move differently. We can do that. And you've been doing this work, this incredible work, but being out and integrated into the world, so you can physically see it happening. You can see the way that people are treating each other, and not everybody's treating each other very well, but some people are really shifting and coming back to that energy of humanity and beauty. And for you to be able to integrate around it, to be able to see it, to be able to witness it, so you can see your work firsthand, is the best way to do it. So this is the reason why you're out there integrating into the world, pulling back your energy in a very, very specific way. So you've got love. Yeah, you've got the heart chakra. Love is a verb, so make it your most treasured action. This is what you're doing. So concentrating on yourself, pulling your energy back, concentrating on your heartfelt center, putting your energy first at all times, even when you're working sort of on and again, historic level, which is a little bit the same as Pal 2, but very different energy, where you're holding space for humanity, pulling that energy back for yourself now, so you can be really, really grounded and your energy's not leaching away from you when you're out in public. It's really important for you to be able to do that. You're clearing a path for you to be able to see the work, this tangible work that you've been doing, be able to see the payoff in the world. So it's good for you to integrate right now, but it's also good for you to do it on your own terms. Again, being very mindful of your energy. Now watch this when you go out into the world, how you integrate your energy, how your energy gets leached away from you somehow, somewhere as you're moving away. Watch how that does that, and then you feel a little bit ungrounded, then you can feel a little overwhelmed, and then watch how it comes back when you interact with people, and there's this essence of humanity and beauty, and you feel completely connected to the energy, to the moment that you're in, out in the world. Watch those two instances, right? As that's coming in and around you. This is perfect for you, right? For you to come back to a sense of self, for you to come back to this serenity, for you to come back to this constant peace. In the past, you've had peace when you're on your own and you're with trusted people, but you've not felt peace in the world when you're out integrating into the world for the most part, unless you're in a safe space that you've delegated for yourself, right? So this is a way, and you've got the Ace of Pentacles coming in. So this is a new way for you to be in the world, to take this serenity, to take this wisdom, to be integrated into the world in a brand new way for you. And because you're so, you have this incredible empathy. You're probably like one of the strongest empaths, but still, you should be able to be in crowds, even if you don't want to. It's not your thing right now. You should be able to be out there and doing exactly what you want to do and not be overwhelmed in crowds whatsoever. It's almost like when you're in a crowd, your energy starts looking for itself, and it can't find your own energy. It can't find its own energy. And it's for some of you, you even start to like panic or go, where the hell is it? It's almost like you lose a sense of yourself when there's too many people around. But that's just because of the energy production, how you deal with your energy, how you've been doing it. All you need to do is be cognizant of this fact and pull your energy back. Just because you're an empath, you don't need to be on 100% of the time, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. When you're out in the world, stop that. Integrate into your own energy and connect to the universe, connect to your immediate surroundings, connect to the world differently. You're going to find your energy runs differently, and you're ready to do this now. Right? You've got the Emperor, that's beautiful divine masculine energy, and you've got the Strength. So you've been doing things sort of a little bit differently. And for some of you, there's even been sort of an object, sort of a martyr energy. Now you've come through this, and this reading's not about the martyr energy, but you may have had that martyr energy before in your life where you wanted people to heal so much, you wanted to do the healing for them. And you may have done that. You may have been one of those neon light sort of people where people who, they weren't bad people, but people who probably weren't the best for you came in and sort of, one of a better term, took the piss, right? So you've had to learn boundaries, and you've had to learn that you can't do that. You have to, just because you see the promise of somebody, just because you see how beautiful people are and you see what they're capable of, doesn't mean that they're going to allow themselves to reach it. So you've had to learn this. But you've definitely dabbled with the martyr label, and you've worked through that. And again, from that, you've put your energy first, which is wonderful. And you've worked with the balance of the divine feminine, the divine masculine. Each one of you is going to be different. Some of you have very, very strong divine masculine energy. So the way in which you've worked, if you've had to incorporate more of the divine feminine energy. Now, some of you had too much of you had a lot of the divine feminine energy. So you really had to integrate more of the divine masculine energy and then sort of come up. And again, it's not 50-50. It's all different for each and every one of you. And as you level out and get that serenity, some of you will still be more divine masculine than more divine feminine. But this is all about the receptivity of the divine feminine that we've been working in. And again, as you've been using this energy historically, as you've been using this energy to help the universe, to help the world, right, to move forward, that divine feminine energy has been absolutely wonderful. Now, the divine masculine energy is coming in and saying, put your energy first. Now, when we say shut down when you're in the world, we don't mean shut down your energy. We mean shut down that part of you that is still in that light worker part of, I need to save everything. You don't need to do that when you're out and about and you're going to the bank. You just don't need to be in that receptive mode. What you need to do is put your energy first, put your wants first. And in that way, you sort of shut down that other part of you, that other mission. It doesn't need to be there. And then you're going to work with your empathic skills very differently. You're going to find that you're very confident in crowds. You're going to find that you're very confident in and around people that you didn't think that you were before. You're going to find that you sort of open up in different ways. You're going to find that, this peace that you have, this serenity that you have, can be taken with you at all levels and at all times and in all situations, and not reserved for times when you're on your own or you feel comfortable in certain places. You have the Six of Cups. This is, and you have the Page of Wands. What else do we have here? Oh, I love that Nine of Cups. You're really coming into yourself, pile 3, and this is a beautiful thing for you to do. We want to be very clear, and our heart goes out to you. You didn't have a lot of you know, you don't really come in to this world, right? And somebody teaches you how to be a light worker, right? You just don't. Nobody sits you down. There's not light worker 101 at college, right? Or at high school. Nobody tells you how to do this. And unfortunately, on top of that, a lot of light workers were not born into the greatest circumstances. So you didn't have a lot of examples growing up as to how to manage your energy, when to give it away, when to bring it back, how to balance it, how to put your energy first. You were taught from a very, very young age. And there's a reason why it's coming up, so bear with us. You were taught at a very, very young age to watch other people's energies, because if they were okay, then you would be okay, right? So this is something that you're working through now on a very, very specific level. And this is sort of, it's a little bit historic. It's very much in the bloodline, but it's also very much in your childhood. This is coming up for you too, as you put your energy forward and as you really seek out this beautiful energy of constantly being serene. All of this will be healed too. Now, you've done a lot of this work, and we've said, you know, the shadow work, we say on this channel all the time, don't go down the rabbit hole. It's not necessary. This is not about healing the past wounds. You've done a lot of that. This is the last part of it, of taking this passionate energy and this beautiful energy and moving out the old. And again, with all of the healing that you've done, with all of the worthiness that you've come into, this is the last part of how to manage your energy as you integrate into the world, sort of in a brand new way, so you can get the life that you want. So you can really understand, you know, from the other side, looking back, exactly what you've been through. Some of the most gracious people in the world have been through hell and back. They've just not allowed the universe or the world to harden them, right? It's not rare necessarily. We're seeing more of that now, but it doesn't happen with everybody. A lot of people shut down. They rely on what's in front of them. They rely on their programming. They're talking from their programming. They're talking from, you know, this historic level, and it's not necessarily from the heart. You've worked through all of those programs. You've figured all of that out, and you want a higher existence in this lifetime. You don't want to constantly be communicating from your past, constantly be communicating from being in this sort of staged place where it's not even really you, right? You want to be in this expansive place, and you've worked really hard to get there. And again, you've had really no license. You've had nobody around you to really show you how to do this. And the fact that you were doing such epic work was sort of more on your own. So you've been doing all of the sort of the epic light work on your own. But at the same time, this is, and in some ways you've been able to sort of be a hermit in this lifetime. You've arranged your life in a way, for a lot of you, you've arranged your life in a way where you weren't as integrated in the world that a lot of people were. But now you want to be integrated, and there's no reason why this won't come up at this time. Again, this passion, and also this alchemy energy, this energy of fire is really coming in to just really dislodge, displace, and then completely integrate the way in which you worked as an empath when you were a kid, walking into a room, figuring out, how am I going to survive in this room, and really paying attention to the energy of the adults who, for some of you, were not really adjusted very well. So this is something that you learn how to do, and this is something that you did in all circumstances, right? But now you're putting your energy first, and you're like, it doesn't really matter if somebody's unhinged or if they haven't done the work. Or they haven't done any healing. I don't need to succumb to any of that energy anymore. I'm going to be me no matter what. I'm going to take my energy with me. I've got a firm foundation. I'm going to do this. And this is the way I'm going to integrate into the world the way in which I want. I'm going to be seen for exactly who I am. And I'm going to go and get the exact life that I want. Because you're extremely talented. And of course, everything that you've been through, you can help other people go through, because you have an incredible amount of strength. And what you've seen isn't typical. And the way in which you've worked isn't typical, which is brilliant, because the way in which we've been doing things for the last 100 years, hundreds if not thousands of years, isn't working. So, everything that you've got in line, everything that you've come up with that's worked for you will work for others. So it's important for your voice to be integrated and outlined throughout lifetimes, starting with this lifetime. It's important that you get integrated into the world and really put in your new insights of how you are coming into the world, because you're going to help others do this. Because the way in which we've been programmed, the way in which society is set up, is not supportive of these beautiful creatures. And you are one of them. Let's get you a couple more cards, feeling. So this is an incredible time for you to be able to do this. And each and every one of you will work slightly differently with your own energy as you integrate into the world. But it's all about putting your energy first. And again, when we say shut down your energy, it's not exactly shutting down. It's just being really active about the different kinds of missions that you have in this lifetime. You don't have to be completely open all the time or be scanning the world, because your energy is scanning where there could be somebody who could hurt you or something like that. Again, the safety monitor comes in when you go out into the world. So this is a way that you can absolutely sort of reverse that, because it's not necessary at this point. So you've got the Empress here and you've got the Three of Swords, and they're both reversed, but this is where you've been working with your energy before. This is about coming back into your power. And again, the way in which you've worked in the world, the way in which you've utilized your energy for protection. So as you're out in the world, you know that you're protected. You don't constantly need to keep your energy in a protective form. And you can be yourself at any length, at any time, and show vulnerability in the world at large. And at the same time, have this extreme divine masculine kind of practicality, that beauty, that real strength, that energy that shows up too. I'm going to show this. I want to get one more. Yeah, you have the World at the bottom here. This is absolutely a time for you to open up in this sort of brand new way and really show exactly who you are on your own terms. And again, work outside the level of anxiety. Some of you have had like sort of low-grade anxiety, especially when you're out in the world. And this anxiety is actually not you. It's not part of you. It's just part of the process of how you worked with your own energy based on the hugeness of your mission here on Earth, right? So this is really just about you coming back to you and working with your energy differently. Again, as you're out in the world, take that foundation of peace with you, shut down that bigger mission, and just know that you're really grounded in your own energy. Your energy's not scanning for what's going on in the world, like, monitoring, making sure that you're safe. Work through all that smaller stuff again. And you've already worked through it, but integrate it and release it completely. All of that energy from your past and from your childhood, where unfortunately, you did have to look around and make sure that you were safe. This is up for review now, for you to come up and release and integrate. This is a way for you to be absolutely brand new in this world and enjoy those crowds if you want to or not. We're going to be very clear here. Don't put yourself in any position to be overwhelmed until you've worked through this energy. This is a little bit of a process. It's not going to take long, but allow yourself to work through this process. It's coming up for you now. And we want to remind you the end result is literally moving in any direction that you want to. And a lot of you have been moving in many different directions, and you know what you want. It's a matter of claiming what it is that you want. This is the last part of it coming in. You can move in any different direction. As we say here, living spherically, moving in any different direction, having that beautiful, expansive life. But this is coming up for you now. Concentrate on it as you're out in the world. Release and integrate and come back to that energy of serenity. And there's nothing that you cannot do and cannot achieve in this lifetime. So that's what we have for you, Pile 3, sending you so much love and light for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Thank you for visiting today. Subscribe if you have not, and hit that bell icon so you never miss one of these deep psychological readings. We'd love to have you. And of course, episode 14, it's pretty epic on the podcast. Nothing to be frightened of, but we are talking about personal stories, and we are talking about entities and attachments, but there's a lot of great information in there that could really benefit every single one of you. So if you feel inclined, check it out. The link is down below, and of course there's many different links to work in and around this energy, including all stuff, so many things on the website. So I'm going to link that down below. If you get an inkling to check it out, please do. Until we meet again, Pile 3, go be you and shine that light. Take care. Bye-bye.